Hello, hello, hello.
Here we are. How's it going, Brandon?
Oh my God, it's going.
It's going. I just watched you run around and water all your plants.
Yeah, it's been 2 weeks. They were all on the brink.
That's
just like my mental sanity.
Yeah, you might as well have been on vacation.
Literally. But I was just working.
So fun. It's still so busy after the holidays with work.
Well, they're like,
promotion.
surprise, Sade. You get to work you get to work an extra day a week and have 3 extra stores, one of which is 2 hours away.
That was kind of crazy that you just like had to drive down to, was it Rochester?
Mm-hmm.
And just like stop by and then
just stopped at my 2 stores and then went, peace.
You're a business bitch now.
I hate it. I hate being a boss, babe.
Well, it's kind of weird that they are like, okay, you're going to have this job, but we're not going to like give you an official email. You're not going to have access to all this stuff.
It's so embarrassing. Emailing official things with my Gmail.
Yeah.
What
You're like, what am
hell?
I, a fucking intern? Where's my email?
Literally. Well, I will say, if they ever are like, oh, well, you didn't answer our emails, I'll be like, well, since it's not a work email, like I'm not obliged to respond. And if I'm not
you're
working.
like, sorry, I'm not. I don't really check that email as often. So, but now that I have to use it for work, it's just hard to get my brain in that mode. But yeah, you were like, oh my God, all my plants look like shit. And I was like, they can't look that bad. And I showed up and I was like, oh.
Yeah, no, it was a rough. That fish tank, you should have, like, the water, still, after I filled the bucket up twice, was still, like, dark brown. Ew. That's how much shit was in that fish tank.
I mean, I don't feel like it was, like, because you could see in it.
Yeah, it was. Well, I think the reason it wasn't so
you don't
bad.
Want the fish people messaging you all you neglectful fish parent. You die.
Because I had so many cuttings in there that I don't think the light was getting in enough to like create algae or anything.
Well, I think a lot of the cuttings too, like you didn't really clean them off. You're just like, okay, just like shove them in the fish tank.
There was so much. Like I threw away like an entire watering can full of rotting plant stuff before I even started filtering it out.
Gross. Well, I hope they bounce back. I mean, a lot of them look pretty good. I will say, are you still loving pond? Because you might notice that the pond plants still look pretty good after being neglected for 2 weeks.
Oh,
like, that's one of my favorite things about it. Like, not just because, like,
which
plants
reminds me,
grow really
I need to fill them up.
Yeah, because when I go out of town or whatever and come back, I mean, unless one of them, like, remember Sam switched some of my like plants, so one of my pond plants completely dried out, and then some other plant that was in soil or in moss was sitting in water, and I was like, oh, these got switched. But all the other ones, usually like any of my plants that are in semi-hydro, when I'm gone for a while, I come back and I'm just like delighted because they're my only plants that don't look like shit, because they could be dry, but they've just dried out.
Yeah.
So I think it's great. But yeah. Hopefully your plants bounce back. I mean, that's what the cabinets are for. Most of them are pretty good.
They'll be fine. There were only like 2 where I was like, oh.
Yeah, you're like, this might be Dunsies. I feel like the varicosum looked a little annoyed, but that's a varicosum for you.
It always looks annoyed. But I will say, my glorious on a moss pole, it is climbing away.
Yeah, your little velvety guys, like, I don't know. I know you were like trying to figure out which some of them are, because I think I gave you a bunch of cuttings and you're just like, I don't know what these are. Splendid, glorious. Usually the gigas is like the most obvious one.
Yeah.
Because it's just floppy.
The gigas I know, but also that one had thrips, so we'll see.
Yeah, story of my life. Well, we're talking about something fun today. I feel like I can't believe we haven't talked about this before, but we're talking plant purges and no buys. Two things that we don't really partake in ourselves. No. But it's really big in the plant community.
It is. And I think it has to do with, like, I feel like people have, and having been through a lot of therapy, I think they have a lot of shame around their plants. Like, tons of shame. And that's why they have to, like, put a title on something. Or like I hid all these plants from my husband. You're just hiding your shame.
I don't like, so I'll do a plant purge every once in a while, like especially back when I got Charlie and he was having to go to the vet every 2 weeks or whatever. I was like, okay, let's do some plant purges. It is kind of nice. I will say the most annoying thing that I don't like to do myself. Are you trying to pick like a hair out of your tongue or something?
I have a swollen taste bud I'm trying to pick off.
Oh my God. I was like, what are you doing? Well, I feel like first we should, for the people who aren't really on the like plant interwebs, which I feel like you are if you're listening to us, but maybe not. Let's talk about what is a plant purge, because I talk about it in the plant shop sometimes with like brand new plant people or people who are just getting like their first 10 plants. They're like, plant purge, because it kind of sounds, the movie The Purge. Kind of sounds a little
aggressive.
Deadly. It's aggressive. And it also kind of sounds gross to me, because purge, I think of throw up. I don't know about you.
Yeah, or like
binging and purging.
Yeah, or like I'm purging the zit. All the pus is coming out.
Yeah, can we get a new word for plant purges? Because I don't like that.
Plant proliferation.
Plant.
I
don't know.
Pass the plant.
Pass on the plant. So plant purges, usually I feel like you most often see them on Facebook, but people will do like story sales on Instagram, which I suppose you could define as a purge, but usually people post in like plant Facebook groups and they're like, plant purge, I'm selling a bunch of plants. Usually getting rid of a lot at one time. It's rare for people to just post. I mean, some people will be like, hey, I just have a couple plants to post, but if people are like, plant purge, they're expecting like dozens of plants maybe.
And again, I think it's because people have like shame about having too many plants a lot of the times.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're like, hey, I really need to pay for this bill.
Yeah, usually I'm like, I need some money, because my perspective is, because some people are like, oh, I feel bad selling them. Like, we take care of our plants so much. We put a lot of time into them, a lot of money sometimes. And sometimes I always tell people it's the plant's turn to take care of us.
Yeah.
So that's why I think, I mean, it is sometimes really sad, but I like to do like local purges mainly because I don't like to ship plants. It's just fucking annoying.
It's the worst.
But I also like getting updates from people. Like when it's a plant I actually really cared about, or if it's part of a plant that I really liked. I love getting those updates, especially when like someone else's environment, someone else's like plant care routine is going to look way different than mine. And that plant is going to grow so different. Maybe they're not going to cut it as soon as I would, and they just let it grow out, and it looks great.
Yeah.
I like the little updates.
Like the little variegated anthurium baby that Kara has. Had I like sold that to someone across the state, or not the state, in a different state, and they like sent me an update, I'd be filled with jealous rage. But since it's someone I love, I'm like, oh, I'm so happy for you.
So great. Yeah, I like seeing that little update. One of my seedlings from you right now is looking really weird because the sinus is coming in like completely closed, looking like a forgetty eye. And I'm like, what the hell? Like there's a little dip in the top, but like barely. I have that forgetty eye energy. I pull it out of all my plants. Even my dock block like leaves are coming in almost completely closed at the top. And I'm like, keep it coming. I like it. But yeah, I used to like a good plant purge, but I think sometimes I have to be cautious about. Sometimes it's the same thing with auctions. Sometimes you just get a little bit too excited, a little bit too eager, and you're like, oh, I better get this before someone else does.
The whole auction thing just does not click with my brain. I'm just like, wow, these people are paying way too much. This is so stupid.
Well, here's the thing, you guys. If you're watching an auction and you're actually wanting to go for the plant, don't bid on it until the very last minute. Like, why would you keep the price going up? You got to sit there and wait. And if it's still in your price range at the end, like when they're counting down, then you can go in with your bid. But don't bid right away.
Yeah.
Don't be dumb. That's what the pros do. I mean, unless you're someone who's just coming in, like trying to make the price go up, because I swear that's what some people do. Oh, some people's like friends, like if I, like, for example, if Brandon was doing like an auction on his whatever live or something, and I was in the comments, I would be putting in like fake bids, trying to just get the price to go up. I swear that's what some people are doing, because I see people in the comments and I'm like, I know you already have that plant. I know you don't want this plant. And some of those people who don't bid till the very end, that they're just throwing in random bids. I'm like, yeah, you're not trying to get this plant. You're just trying to keep the market price up. People
on eBay do that, like, and they don't even know the person. They're just trying to get the price up.
Very lame.
It's a whole thing.
We support cheap plants because we're cheap bitches. I mean, we like luxurious plants, but only because they look luxurious. There's so many beautiful cheap plants out there.
And it's just, and then again, there's like the greed behind it all. People just are so greedy. Greedy McGreedersons.
Especially with days like this when we're like, oh my God, our plants look like shit. The ones, I don't know, when you spend a lot of money on one, then you're really feeling like, oh my God, I'm a horrible person. You're getting that shame. of like, I haven't been taking care of my plants that are so expensive. When it's something easily replaceable, I don't feel as bad. I mean, I haven't really had to replace plants. I think I did get rid of my first Brazil basket because it looked thrippy, and I was like, I'm not dealing with this. I can get another beautiful Brazil basket.
Oh, yeah.
So stuff like that, I don't stress about it too much, but then those are the plants that I feel like are more easy to grow. They'll bounce back better. Anyways, plant purges. So I like to look at them. I don't know. I'm always scrolling.
You're obsessed with them.
I don't buy as much as I used to on the purges. I'm a little better, but I think it's because I've realized I don't like picking up from people.
Yeah, I hate it.
I
like it in the summer when they can just leave it outside.
Oh yeah, I'm like, well, just do porch pickup, just set it outside. But yeah, when you have to like chat with somebody, I mean, when it's someone like Alexa, like we just claimed some plants like last week, and I just went to pick them up. I'm like, I know this person. I'm not like anxious. I've been to their house before. It's not a big deal. But that's also the reason why I don't love to do my own purges. Because then people have to come to my house. I have to be scheduling all these people to come, and I don't feel like it's over until everyone's done and they have their plant. I just get anxious about it.
Same.
So I don't love that. It's kind of my least favorite thing about it. Also, there's make sure you guys are looking in the rules in some of these groups, because some of them are a little strict. Some of them don't give a fuck.
Intense.
Yeah. You can get kicked out pretty easily for doing something very seemingly innocent to you. So I don't know.
They love their arbitrary rules.
Like especially if you have your own business technically, or if you work at a plant shop or something, they don't want you to be like promoting or shit. I don't know. It's very weird. So make sure you guys are checking the rules or message your admin team. Don't piss them off, I guess, because it's really not fun to be like, I mean, I don't think I've been kicked out of any groups, but I've seen other local people get kicked out of groups, and I feel like looks very isolating and sad.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think there's a time, I don't know. I think there's a time and a place when people go too far, but a lot of times it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Like we've said on this podcast before, I almost got kicked out of a group for promoting a literal fundraiser.
Yeah, fundraiser for AAPI.
Just because my business was involved.
Yeah, you're like, I'm not trying to like profit off this. This is.
Like, I'm not making any money off of this. Like, I'm actually losing money because I'm donating things to it. So.
Yeah, people suck. But yeah, how do plant purges work? So, I mean, normally some people will, if they don't have that many plants, they'll just have them listed in the actual
I like the
posts
preview.
themselves.
I like the preview because then you like know what because then you can be like, okay, I might be interested, or you're like, I don't care about this at all.
Mm-hmm. So then they'll usually say when they're going to start purging, like, here's when I'm going to start posting. People will turn on notifications for that post, and they're like, okay, I'm going to be here. Some of them, every once in a while, I'll know that someone's purging, like last week, where I'm like, oh, there's someone I know who has some pretty good plants. They don't do purges very often. So usually it's going to be a lot of plants and a lot of pretty good deals, and I want to watch for that. I like just sitting there, and I also like knowing what plants are going for now.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really helpful because I don't want to be oblivious, like the people who are still like, oh my God, $150 for this beautiful pink princess. Like, you're delusional. You need to stop. Even, have you been seeing like the white knights and white princesses are even popping up in big box stores?
Mm-hmm.
And they're actually kind of beautifully variegated.
Yeah,
some of them.
Those pink, they're like super splashy.
So I would be interested. I mean, I think a lot of people have been seeing them more at Walmart. So go look at your local Walmart, see if they got some fun. The first thing when I pull up Facebook is the North Minneapolis Crime Watch and information, which tangent. I follow this like crime watch for my area, right? And I thought it was just like neutral, unbiased. They're just posting what's happening, right?
Oh, like a police scanner.
Yeah. All the people in the comments are obviously like boomers, and they're being really racist and annoying. And like, oh my God, that's not news. Like shootings in Minneapolis. Yeah, yada, yada. But then I go on this, the people are talking about like some bingo. I'm like, what are you talking about? This bingo, crime bingo. On this Crime Watch Twitter, they have like bingo cards for things that happen in Minneapolis. And I'm like, these are things, I'm like, this is not fucking funny. Like, people are getting like their cars broken into. People are getting assaulted. People are getting raped. And then they're like, oh, let me cross it off on my bingo card. You're fucking, you are horrible. So yeah, every time I see this like Crime Watch thing, I'm like, I like to know what's going on, but it just pisses me off. Ugh.
That is insane.
Yeah, I can't handle it. I can need to not go in the comments. And of course, because you know, Facebook has those little banners now under people's names, like top fan.
Oh, yeah.
You know, these people who are like, don't live in Minneapolis, have like top fan, most interactive on in their comments. I'm like, you look stupid. Okay, that's my fucking tangent. But I wanted to like open up Facebook groups. Oop, I accidentally clicked on your face. What is that? What is that?
It's like a glass display
Brandon,
at the Milwaukee
they
Public
look like
Museum.
a bunch of butt plugs.
I haven't updated my face. When was that posted?
2018.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Brandon's, I'm going to have to post it on the Instagram story so people know what I'm talking about. But Brandon's Facebook background, I'm like really confused about what I'm looking at.
Did I recently update my profile picture? Is that a new pic?
No.
Oh, okay. I was going to update it and then I never did.
Yeah, this is from 2020. You're still, I think this is still, you're in Wisconsin when you took this, right?
I was technically in Chicago, but yes, I was living in Wisconsin.
Okay. I don't like how Facebook groups doesn't have a tab anymore. I have to like go over here and then click into it.
Oh, weird.
Facebook sucks.
I hate how they change it so dramatically every couple of months.
Yeah. I'm like, first, I'm like, oh, this is starting to look really, what? Starting to look really like user friendly. Okay, these plants, Brandon, I don't know if you've seen them. These alocasias, you can barely tell they're alocasias. They're kind of like a mottled variegation. They've been popping up everywhere. There was I missed it, but apparently there was some type of drama over them. I think some girl like overpaid for one or something.
They look kind of thrippy.
You would know. Yeah, there's some of I did see one like individually posted, and I was like, oh, that looks like a very like highly variegated Syngonium mojito or something.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, that's kind of cute, but I'm not going to pay a whole lot. I'm not going to invest in an alocasia. I'm sorry. That's one plant where I'm like, you can give me a corm or something, but I'm not spending a lot on alocasias anymore. Nope.
Like, can you imagine like when people are paying like $800 for variegated fried eggs? Like, no.
Yeah, I can't handle it.
Couldn't be me, Cease.
Yeah, so there's a lot of like free, people have been doing a lot of free plants in local groups too. Just like free pickup. Whoever gets here first, which I would never do that. I think the anxiety of driving to someone's house and being like, I hope that plant is still there.
Like, it's only things like if I put it on the curb and then I'll like make a list and update it when people take shit.
Ooh, that's very nice. Kind of weird how the Stanleyana, Monstera Stanleyana albo is called Monstera Cobra.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Goofy. Well, I think that's the name that Costa Farms gave it, 'cause you know how they like to give their plants goofy little names.
Whatever they want to.
Whatever they
feel like.
Like, I think the Scindapsus Moonlight or something is called Sterling Silver, technically. I'm like, what are you talking about? Hi, Cease.
No.
Oh, I thought we were going to get something. She's sitting next to me, like, kind of looking really creepy.
Yeah, Cease, what are you doing?
I don't know. Her butt is still looking weird. She was rolling around in the fish tank water when Brandon was watering his plants. And she was like, I'm actually going to play with a toy for once and like roll around. I never see her do that, but she must love that banana. She's like, who should I go sit with? I don't know. We're on Brandon's couch right now, not sitting in the bedroom, which we're not around the plants like we normally are. I mean, there's some here. Brandon's sad succulents.
You're like, there's only a few where there's still like 20 plants right here.
I know. I'm like, I'm just not sitting next to a plant wall. And I'm like, yeah, we've got a couple things. I love your chewed up Mikens leaf sticking out of the top of that terrarium. Very, very cat-like, you know? So I want to go back to when we talk about this urge to buy something because someone else is going to grab it first. I think that's the one thing that auctions and purges have that websites will never have.
Yeah.
Unless it's like some type of auction on the website. Just knowing that other people are there and looking at this plant at the exact same time as you, it gives you a little bit of a, should I get this? Should I get this? Oh my God, I'm going to get it. Like,
and that's why I like to wait until the purge is over and then I fly in like a little vulture and I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, then you can scroll through and be like, is there anything someone missed that I would actually like? Because then when the purge is over and you scroll back through and like there's things that are already claimed, it kind of gives you that moment to sit back and be like, oh, do I want this? And think rationally. That's what I would recommend doing. But I don't know, sometimes that feeling just like gets you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that's what happened last week. We were looking at our little purge. our little local purge we were watching, and there's a bunch of anthuriums, which Brandon's obviously into the anthuriums. I've been getting into the anthuriums, but I'm trying to be a little bit better about how many random seedlings I take in, because I had a bunch that were doing really well, but there are just so many in so many tiny pots that some of them dried up and then they died, and I'm really sad because some of them were like really good hybrids that I was really excited to grow, and yeah, it was just too many at one time. So I think I'm better at like like some bigger plants.
Yeah.
Only a few. And if I do have a bunch, all of those like tiny babies have to be like in the same cabinet space so that I water them all together.
Yeah. That's why I like having them all in one little moss pan. Obviously it's hard when they're all different, but
I do like how your cabinets look after being rearranged, especially how your little pings lined up. I was like, oh my God, they look so cute.
The pings and the anthuriums.
Doesn't it bring you so much joy?
Yeah.
It's just so fun to look at.
Although I'm sure I really messed it up watering today. It's like covered in dirty again.
It is what it is. You did finally get it like cleaned up, right? You took people's recommendations of, was it vinegar?
Yeah, the vinegar worked really well.
Did you say you started taking that to the gym?
I should.
To like wipe off the spit on the
I should. It's disgusting. I was like looking at today. I'm like, it's like looking at myself through fog.
It's so nasty.
Yeah.
Like, isn't that one of the, I don't know, especially at Lifetime, like, are they not washing those mirrors every day?
No, but they're like literally cleaning off the equipment with like a toothbrush. Make it make sense. There's shit on the walls and spit on the mirrors, but don't worry, every piece of equipment is completely cleaned off.
Let's talk about the few times that we have done plant purges. When's the last time you've done one? It has to have been a hot minute. My God, Cece, the way your hairs like curl up when they're wet.
I don't think I've ever actually done officially a purge.
Cece's butt is really weird looking.
Yeah, it's her chocolate star.
Yeah, it's like an outie.
Yeah.
Oh my God, look at her. You got to take another picture of us because she's like crawling up on me. Hello, friend. This is just like last time. She wants to be besties. Hello, Cease. There's nothing happening here. I just love when cats lay on me. It's like the best thing ever. Hi.
Oh.
She's the cutest. Sorry, everyone listening to my silence. I'm just enjoying my cat world. I'll let any cat climb over me. My cats don't really like to be on me. They just want to be next to me or touching me in any capacity.
Well, it's like so funny. Like when I'm at Sam's and all the cats are like, they're staring. If they're not on you, they're staring at you. They're near you. Mm-hmm. Where like Cece and Cliff are just like, whatever. They go do their own thing. They
I was worried because Sam moved from like a little studio into like a big house. I'm like, oh no, your cats are just going to be like all over the place. No, I'm sure they're still like following her around everywhere.
Like one on one shoulder, one on the other shoulder, one on the top of her head at all times.
Let's go into the kind of like the opposite because I feel like we'll flip back and forth. But let's talk about no buys. And I mean, I feel like sometimes you unintentionally do this, but you're not really someone who buys a lot of plants.
Yeah. Well,
what's your perspective on this?
Well, a lot of people call them plant bans, which again I think is a very, very
very harsh,
aggressive term that is just like shame based. First of all, if you can't control your plant buying, then maybe you need to go to therapy instead of not buying plants.
Right? It's like y'all need help. He's like, can't relate. I have self-control.
Like I don't have much self-control, but I spread my no self-control about a lot of parts of my life.
Yeah. You do like to indulge, but like more across the board in life. You're like, I can't indulge in the plants because I won't be able to indulge in all my other things.
Exactly. How am I going to, I don't know, have McDonald's 15 times a week if I'm buying all these expensive plants?
My thing is, I feel like you're setting yourself up for failure. And I don't like the idea that people are like, oh, I might have to like break my plant ban or whatever.
Well, it's like a crash diet.
Yeah, and I'm just like, why are you making, I mean, I know that people have unhealthy spending habits. I'm right there with you. I feel you. But I think that the whole like, oh, I'm not buying plants right now. I'm not buying plants right now. And then what if you do buy a plant? Then I think in your head, you're thinking, oh, I'm a failure. I suck. Like I can't I can't do anything right. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just saying stuff like that, like, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. Sometimes I'll be like, okay, I need to like not buy plants as much. But I will not in my head be like, I'm on a plant ban. I'm on a plant ban.
Yeah.
I'll kind of be like, maybe if I want to, get little like buying serotonin for plants, maybe I need to focus more on like some pots. I need pots more than plants or something. Or, I don't know. Sometimes I'll be like, I need to be more like one in, one out with the plants if I'm like filling up with big plants and there's no more room. But I don't think I've ever been on a plant ban or been like,
Same.
I'm not on I'm on a no buy. Like,
And I think it's, and I actually just listened to a podcast this morning called How to Accomplish Impossible Goals. And you never should commit to something that's like that intense and is going to like bring you shame if you mess up, because everyone messes up. So you just do like, I want to spend less on plants or less on whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Don't make it like shame driven. Make it like, well, if you spend less on plants, then you can like treat yourself to one.
Yeah, I would say make it a little reward. Like, don't make it so negative. I mean, we are negative bitches, but I don't know. Just making rules for myself like that, it just doesn't work out. I don't like it. And then, because then I feel like I can't even look at plants online. I love scouring even websites, even when it's cold. Sometimes you just need that. I highly recommend just going on websites, adding shit to your cart. You kind of know you're not going to buy it, but it's just kind of fun to like add it to the cart. I'm sorry if that messes with your guys' websites.
I actually do like doing that. And then once I like put on the tax and the shipping and I go, nope, I don't really want this.
Then you kind of feel like you just saved a bunch of money. Yeah. It's like kind of like a high of like, oh no, I'm not going to buy that. And you're like, wow, I have like $50 extra in my bank account. No. So I don't know. I like doing that. And I don't know, every once in a while, maybe you will find a good plant deal. And people are like, how did you find that? I'm like, I don't know. I was just looking online, doing my little thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't think you should limit yourself, guys. But you guys know yourself better than we do. But we're just sharing our perspective. We're not forcing you to be how we are at all. Because sometimes we have no self-control. When we went down to Florida, Brandon turned into a different person.
I spent like $1,000 on plants.
It was kind of nuts.
Actually, I probably spent more than that, honestly.
I mean, you still have all those plants.
Yeah. The only one that might die is the cytosperma.
I believe in you.
We'll see.
Maybe
it just requires so much water.
Didn't you say you were going to throw it in pond or something?
I need to.
Maybe you just need to throw it in the fish tank.
Literally. But it has so much roots, like cleaning it off the roots. Like I'm like, gross. Ugh.
Yeah, that almost.
And what if the
like,
roots have spikes on them too?
Oh my god, yeah. Could someone let us know the Cyrtospermas? Like, are they spiky in the pot too? Because
like
that was cutting up our plants in the back seat of Brandon's car.
If I like grab the stem, I would just be bleeding out.
Mm-hmm. It's like worse than a rose.
Way worse.
They're scary. Did you see there's this little like viral clip going around of that little orchid that like moves to like stimulate pollination or something?
No.
It's really creepy. I wish I could find it. It just reminded me of that, just like plants being weird. But I have been seeing the Cyrtospermas pop up everywhere now. What was that, Cease? We're never going to get another meow. Whatever. It is what it is. My gosh, look at these little Hoya blooms. That's the Bella. I know that's the Bella because obviously it's back there, but that's the one Hoya bloom that I've had. Which, you guys, I just had my Hoya mirabilis bloom, and it was super, super fuzzy. And it's so cute. What was the one that you just had bloom that was fuzzy in there and smelled really weird?
The Croniana Black Dragon.
That was cute.
Yeah, and it bloomed twice. That was the second bloom.
Dang, you need to get pictures of those because you didn't even show me.
I did take some pictures, I think.
Yeah, because I didn't even know that was blooming. I came in here and
I
was
hope
like,
I did.
Wow, that's pretty.
Anyway, plant bans. My thing with it is, why do people have to talk about it so much? They have to tell everyone they know. I'm like,
Brandon's like, okay, shut up about it already.
Literally.
There are, yeah, I guess I do see that a lot. Like, even, especially in Purges, people will comment and they'll be like, oh no, I'm on a plant ban. Why do I have to be on a plant ban? You put yourself on a plant ban. What are you talking about? They're like, why do I have to be like this? Don't then. Then just don't. I don't know. Maybe delete Facebook. I don't know what people need to do. What do you need to do to stop buying plants?
Run out of money.
Yeah. I mean, I know that there are, like, I have been in that state of, like, I just need serotonin and dopamine so bad I will go hungry to get a plant. But I don't think I'm there anymore.
Yeah.
I'm a little more responsible.
Well, and that's another reason why I like having multiple sources of serotonin, because
I thought you were going to say multiple sources of income, and I was like, period.
I mean, I do need more of that, but
yeah, if anyone wants to be a sponsor, hit us up.
Because like I like if I want to buy a plant, I can be like, shit, I can't buy a plant, but I can go buy Vietnamese coffee and get the same effect.
Right? Maybe you guys just need to find other things to collect, or maybe not. I actually so what was I doing? Okay, I've been watching a lot of documentaries, right, on Netflix. I just watched the Pez dispenser one. These people collecting Pez dispensers. I had a cousin who collected Pez dispensers. The people on this documentary on Netflix, they're like, oh yeah, this one I paid $11,000 for this Pez dispenser.
Why do they like them? What was their reasoning for loving them so much? Because first of all, Pez isn't that good. And they always broke.
I don't know. Okay, so this is the interesting thing. I mean, I don't want to spoil it for y'all if you want to go watch this, but Pez, the company, is out of like Austria. It's in Europe, but Pez USA is separate, and they have all these legalities where Pez USA is like, I'm going to control everything that gets sold in the US. I don't want to sell all your shit over there. Like, I'll approve some of them, but we're going to have like, we're going to have the good shit over here. We don't want all your goofy little Pez's. But all the collectors in the US are like, we want those goofy little Pez's. So some old dude who actually looked homeless when he showed up to the factory in the middle of, he's from like Michigan or something. He goes over to Europe. I don't think he'd even ever been on a plane before. He goes over to Europe to go to this factory to like buy a bunch of them so he could sell them at like conventions and shit, like toy conventions and like people who love these exclusive things. It's that same thing where people want something that other people don't have.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because obviously it's only going to be interesting to the toy collectors and the Pez collectors. Similarly with plants, where these plants that we have that are so rare, which, I hate that word. Other people looking at them, they're just like, what's the appeal?
Yeah.
They see the Thai constellations at work and they're like, why is this $300? They're like, because there's like, it looks like there's bird shit on it. Okay. Like, well,
I will say that's the one thing about plant collecting that I think I appreciate but also don't appreciate is like with these Pez's they only made so many. They're going to eventually break. They're going to get lost. So it's like it will just get rarer and rarer. Where plants are the complete opposite. There will always be more. They will be less rare and less rare. Where I wish there was a way where there were like somewhere it was like you could truly aspire to them. But like I feel like I remember 2 years ago thinking there's no way on earth I'll ever have a spirit of sanctity. And here I am with 2.
Yeah.
Like
and they're not even expensive anymore. You can get them. Like, obviously, we're not the type of people to spend like $300, $500 on that little plant. But if you want to, you can now. It's not, especially even the UPI. 2 years ago, you could not spend less than $1,000 for one leaf cutting. Mm-hmm. And now you can get little ones for $50, really big plants for $200. It's still a lot. I'd rather get a bunch of groceries, but I don't know. That's plants. But the interesting thing with the Pez's is when they started having these exclusive Pez's, right? These people who are selling them on the black market, or they call it the gray market. There's the gray market. If you're selling something that's available in Europe legally, but it's not available in the US, I guess it's technically like the gray market because it's still legal somewhere. It's still available somewhere, but it's not available in this country yet. So they called that the gray market.
Oh, maybe it's like you're supposed to be like paying like,
I don't know.
Those, what do they call them? Like the international taxes and shit.
Well, speaking of international, the reason why Pez fucked up, and I'm just telling this whole documentary, so sorry, y'all. The reason why they fucked up is they had a patent, right? They had this copyright, but they didn't tell border protection. They didn't tell customs. So when this guy came in with bags of them, border protection's obviously like, this is weird. But then they looked through like their list and they're like, well, I don't have anything on here that technically says you can't bring this in. So if they're that stupid, do your thing, literally. And Pez was pissed off. But the funny thing is this dude is selling them for like $25 a pop, right? These uncommon ones. But real Pez's, they're $1.99. So to say a big fuck you to this guy, the Pez company was like, okay, well, we're going to start manufacturing these uncommon ones. just to put this guy out of business. So all these rare ones, they're like, okay, well, we're actually going to put those into production and release them so that they're just $2 and no one gives a fuck anymore. So weird. They're like, let's crash the market.
This kind of sounds interesting. Maybe
You
I
should
need
watch
to watch
it. It's kind of funny. It's kind of interesting. And it is the crazy collectors. They're like, oh, that guy, I don't want to talk about that guy. I do know some things, but which is literally what we do. We're like, oh, we know about.
We fully spill the beans. We'll be half coy. We'll be like, oh, we shouldn't.
We shouldn't. And then like the next episode, we're like, la, 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 like saying everything. There is stuff that we don't talk about, y'all, but then people will just DM me. They're like, okay, but can you tell me? And I'm like, okay. It's so, I mean, it's not that much tea. It's not that much drama, but it's like, it's interesting. I don't know. Because some people are in the plant world and they're so innocent and they're just like, I just love plants. Yeah. But then there's some people who are so evil.
There's literally so evil.
Mm-hmm. Scumbags.
Where like, if I was also doing evil, I wouldn't be saying shit, you know? Like.
Some of these people who are evil are so cocky too. They're like, oh, I'm the greatest.
Yeah. Like, but I'm going to talk about it because you ain't going to find nothing on me.
It's like, I'm innocent. I'm an angel.
I'm evil in other ways, but not in the plant world.
Yeah, you're like, I'm just trying to enjoy my plants and get them for cheap, but like, you know.
But not scam people.
Yeah. You don't think we scammed Dominic?
No.
We didn't. We're not scammers. We
just end up getting gifts a lot.
Yeah, we're just gifted. Gifted without the whole story. They don't have the whole story.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's cool. But anyways, if you want the plant, either buy it or don't. I don't know. Like, it's
up to you, babes.
And just know the prices will come down.
Yeah.
They will. They always do.
The only one I think that I've ever regretted was Ace of Spades. Because they used to be like 200. And now they're just much, 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 much more than that. But I will say, I think the reason that that's happening with anthuriums or the prices are going up is because I think they're getting like, now if you like a pure blood anthurium, they're all mudbloods now. So they're like all mixed together.
Yeah.
And
that's
so then
someone said that like all of the crystal items out there are probably not crystal items. Because I see people posting them now and I'm like, that does not look like my crystal item. Or that doesn't look like your crystal item. They're all just crossed with something else, especially when these things are like open pollinated or something.
Oh yeah,
and
like
you could just you couldn't know.
Finding like a pure like Carlo Blacki. Good luck. Good luck.
Yeah, the pure blood plants. That's what's in right now. I mean, I think the hybrids are still fun. I love getting the little hybrids because it's just unique. You don't know what it's going to look like. Hybrids are such a wide variant on what that could look like. Mm-hmm. One like crystallinum ex magnificum or magnificum ex crystallinum could look completely different than another.
Yeah. It's just so fun.
Yeah, breeding is really fun. I hope I can get into like crossbreeding my anthuriums more. I don't think the two that I just did worked because I do have pollen now coming out of that one that I showed you.
Yeah. Well, I have also sometimes had the pollen came out and then the berries came out.
Because it doesn't seem as like full of pollen as it usually does because I still see like some spots of like green where I don't know. We'll see. But what I was really excited about, y'all, I don't think I've even talked about this in the podcast, is I got my pings to seed.
Oh, yeah.
That was like, it's just that new plant high. I wish I could have taken a video of like when I popped open that seed pod.
I'm kind of surprised you didn't record that. I feel like that would have been.
It was one of those things where I got home, I noticed, because if you guys don't know about ping seeds, usually you kind of have to take the flower off or the flower falls off and it's just like the stalk and then like the little thing at the top. There's no more petals. And you know that it's coming after you've pollinated, when it just kind of starts swelling up. It looks like there's just a little ball. And it'll start kind of browning a little bit when it's going to start opening up. Because in the wild, when they're doing their own thing, it's not like anthuriums where, I mean, eventually they do fall off. But ping seeds, like it opens up and it like explodes everywhere. You don't want that to happen. So you got to be there. You got to be there for it. And I could see, because it almost looked like, you know, a bunch of pieces coming together and then they open, you know?
Yeah.
Just, it looks like a pie. Bursting open, okay? I don't know. Like
the blueberries are going everywhere.
A sliced pie, and then like the middle just bursts open. Looks like a little butthole. I don't know how to describe it. But I saw that it was just about to burst open. So I grabbed my little piece of paper because pink seeds are so tiny, y'all. They look like thrips. They're so small. I grabbed my little white piece of paper. I fold it in half and I like just squeeze the little flower thing and it goes, and they all just all into the paper. And I was like, oh my God. I do have pictures of it because I did take pictures and I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. I was like, oh my God, that really just happened. It was like, yeah, it just, so much serotonin. I was like, oh my God, I did it.
And it happened quick too. Like, I feel like you had like pollinated them like less than 2 weeks earlier.
They are they're pretty quick with it. And they do take about 2 weeks to start showing, like when you actually do germinate them successfully, because that wasn't my first seed pod, right? The first one, I wasn't sure if it was a seed pod. I got a little too nosy and I just like broke it open and I found some seeds in there, but it was a little bit too early, so there weren't that many. They did germinate. They are growing. It took about 2 weeks for me to start seeing them with my own eyes, but when you actually let them like mature and it pops open and it's like, oh my God, there's hundreds of seeds here. So that's what I'm very excited about. 2022, I hope it is a big ping year for me.
Year of the ping.
The year of the pang. Yeah. I'm really excited. I'm trying to find my little pictures because it was just like, oh, speaking of pictures, they have a Baby Yoda pillow pet. And I wanted to show you this because you know how
does it pillow?
Okay, so let me show you because it's really funny because this isn't open, okay? So when because y'all know how pillow pets work.
So it's in pillow mode right now?
It's open. And then you have to like,
We're about to put it into sport mode.
Wait, no. The waist just cinches. It literally is just yachified Baby Yoda.
I've got the waist.
Literally, she's like, I'm skinny like Mariah Carey. Because that's just it. It just like cinches the waist. And I just can't believe it. I was going to send it to you last night. I screenshotted it because I've been waiting for them to make the Highland cow available. You go, yes. Let me show you this. I saw it on my TikTok for you.
Oh, is that like a furry cow?
The furry cow, yes, because let me show you it because you're going to want one too. Oh my God. Okay, first of all, look at this weird axolotl they have. It's so creepy. Oh. Which, by the way, speaking of axolotls, we're just going all over the world. I found a tattoo shop that's actually like trans owned, and I was like, this is nice because Isabel will be comfy going there. They have a lot of like great artists, but they have axolotls at this tattoo shop.
Oh,
like shut up, that is so funny. Okay, where's the Highland cow? They have Five Nights Freddy's, unicorn dinosaurs. They have Paw Patrol.
well, of course they do.
A-cab. Pillow pets. Okay, let me go under new arrivals because this one isn't available yet. They have Perry the Platypus, but look at this fucking cow. Go away. I know. Yeah.
That is adorable.
Like, come on. That's the cutest pillow pet I've ever seen in my life. I need it. Like, come on.
Oh my God.
I'm posting this, you guys, on our story. You got to go check it out and get on the wait list for your little Highland cow pillow pet.
And you're never too old for a pillow pet. I am 31 years old. And
yours is, what's that?
I have slept with Rexy Rex, one of the original pillow pets, since 2011.
I had the unicorn. I had the purple unicorn that they actually still have. But you know what's nasty? They have scented pillow pets.
Ew.
Yeah. And they're like all the cow ones. I don't really get it. They have jumbo pillow pets too, but they're like $100.
And the sad thing is, they're not stuffed that much,
That's true. But yeah, I had the
Rexy Rex doing pretty good for being 11 years old.
Yours looks brand new. It's so like full.
The only thing is like the teeth. The white teeth are kind of like.
Yeah, half the shit on the website is like out of stock. So Pillow Pet, get your shit together.
It's a pillow. It's a pet. It's a pillow pet.
I don't think they've even changed their logo because look at the top of that.
Nope, that's the same logo. It's like the Neopets logo.
It's so creepy. They have Care Bear. Is that allowed? I mean, I guess if they have like Disney collabs, but to collab with another stuffed animal, it's kind of weird.
No,
like a Pillow Pet Care Bear. That's not.
I mean, Care Bear's making their coin. They don't give a shit.
I tried to get Isabella a Care Bear at Target, and they don't have like the normal original Care Bears. They're all like rainbowy and like all different. I'm like, I want like an actual.
The Care Bears freaked me out as a kid.
I had one. I had the classic pink with the rainbow stomach. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Well, we're completely off on our tangent and done talking clearly about no-buys and plant purges. Do we have any last thoughts? I feel like we've shamed people enough, have we not?
I've shamed people into not thinking about their shame. Anyway, I think you should do whatever you want to do, but don't make a big deal out of it.
Mm-hmm. Just go shop locally. Some people in our local groups are like, what am I going to do? There's no purges. I don't know. Go look for a plant shop. Yeah, they're still there.
One of the 1500s.
Yeah. There's a lot of plant shops.
It's not like there's not 400 Home Depots, 500 Walmarts. Like, you got choices, baby. You don't even have to shop local.
And here's the thing, too. One thing I forgot to say that I've kind of been disappointed time and time again in certain purges and stuff because people angle these pictures and make these plants look a lot bigger than they are sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Like, how many times have you picked up a plant and been like, oh, this is not what I thought it was going to be. And I don't really have the balls to say that, so I just grab it. I'm like, thanks. And I go home and I'm like, God, that was a fucking bust. That was a waste of money. But I don't know. I'm like, I'll just grow it into a beautiful plant.
That's why I always try to take a picture with a Topo Chico bottle next to it so you know exactly what the size is.
Yeah, I try to, or at least like have my hand in it or something. Like you kind of understand, like, here's what it looks like. Here's how many leaves it is. I also take multiple pictures when I'm doing my plant purges.
Yeah, yours are in depth.
I take multiple pictures of every plant because you got to know, especially because sometimes you can't get a good picture of the plant. I want people to know how good this plant is too, because some pictures don't do them justice.
Oh yeah, and that's another reason why I don't like Facebook purges is because I wish Facebook was like a chat. I wish you could have it where it was like live when it was posted. It would just pop up.
The comment like sometimes it does, but really sometimes it does not. The comment section of Facebook is very whack.
Like if I look at it on a computer, most of the time it's like there, but if I'm on my phone, I'm like refreshing, and then it refreshes out. Then I have to like go back and find it and go back to where I was and blah, 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 blah.
Especially when the purge has already been all posted and there's 300 comments. When I click like more comments at the top, the amount of time that I have to wait for those new comments or those old comments to show up is astronomical.
I also like when they do where they make it a rule where you have to have like one comment that everyone who wants to follow it comments on instead of commenting on the main one following.
People suck at paying attention to that because it's such a specific rule.
Then the admin should be deleting their comments.
And also, you guys, you can, because sometimes it's a little embarrassing and I don't want people to know that I'm looking at the plants. So you can click at the top little dots, and you can say turn on notifications for this post. I know sometimes it doesn't always work, but it works better for me than doing following. Or just commenting F or whatever the hell. I just turn on notifications for that post, and then they just start popping up in my notifications. And I'm like, okay. Because then usually I forget about it. And then I go back and I'm like, why do I have so many notifications on Facebook? And I'm like, oh, I was looking at a purge. There is, I think this name might ring a bell, but the one national purge that I really love looking through that I have bought from before. Well, besides, I have not bought from Scott Cohen, but Scott Cohen is like I feel like one of the Anthurium gods that people are just obsessed with. But there's a guy, I think his name is Justin Hart, and he does like these like Fort Lauderdale or something Lauderdale sale or something. But I think you would recognize his like post because he always posts like all of the plants together. Like he'll line them all up on the wall on these shelves, and he's like, okay, here's all the plants that I'm purging today. And I've gotten some of my hybrids from him where I really like them. I think it's in one of the national groups. It might be the Time to Splurge and Purge, which I think there used to be a lot of drama in that group. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Time to Splurge and Purge.
I feel like those big groups used to be so full of the drama. Now I feel like they're not, because I think of all of these other groups that are like, we don't want them to know about our stuff, and they're just going to post about it.
Is it crazy controversial to say that I don't really understand the hype around Amorphophallus?
I don't like them either.
They're weird and stinky.
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
Like if one was like just given to me, I would appreciate it. But I don't think I would like go
That'd be kind of fun. Yeah. I'd be like, okay, cool. But like, yeah, it doesn't excite me. God, all these people posting locally are making me want to go like, oh, look what's that cub. A nice little Hoya Lisa. Just usually a lot of spider plants, and then the like the classic anthuriums with the fucking red and pink heart flowers. No, thank you. I'm sorry. That's those one flowers that I just really don't give a shit about. I mean, obviously we don't care about normal anthurium flowers. I think the only plants that I have besides, like, I guess that one orchid that we have each, Hoyas and Pangs are the ones where I'm like, okay, next flower. Let me see it.
Yeah.
Bring it to me.
Or
I guess Maranta flowers are kind of fun.
Yeah,
I don't mind
cute.
seeing them. They kind of look crusty and gross after they're gone. But
Then, like, well, see, the issue with the Maranta flowers is because most flowers you can just pull off, but those ones just like,
oh yeah, they're
they're
attached.
holding on for dear life.
Attached.
Like I have ripped the entire plant out of the pot on accident trying to get those flowers off.
Should we wrap it up, Brandon?
Hell yeah.
Where can people find you on the in the interwebs?
You can find me at Brandon Botanical on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and BrandonBotanical.com. You can shop my plants at monsteraplant.co website and Instagram.
Yeah, if you guys want to do any fun events with Brandon, hit him up. I did hack back into the Monstera Plant Co. Instagram. I forgot that it's the same as your Shopify password. I need to start using a different password. However, it's not the same for the podcast. I couldn't log into the podcast Instagram. Instagram logged me out of everything. Instagram sucks. I was like, you know how many accounts I'm logged into? Now I got to get all these back in here.
I have some accounts that I've never been able to get back into.
Yeah, me too. Like my old art account. Who cares? But you can find me if you want to at Nicole Larson Grows on Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest. Are you reading a review?
Yeah, we got a review lined up, ready to go.
Okay, what do you have?
Okay, so we have a review from Jules0629 8675309. Those weren't the same numbers at all, but anyway, the title is Hello, Hello, Hello. I love that.
That's what you say.
I love this podcast. I'm one of the few people that actually was introduced to Brandon and Nicole through this podcast first instead of through TikTok or any other social media platform.
Damn.
I was searching for plenty podcasts, and I'm so happy that I found this one. I enjoy learning from you guys and laughing along with you. Thank you for all your humor, your realness, all the tangents, and all of your plant knowledge. And thank you to our producer, Cece, without whom this podcast wouldn't be possible. For her occasional input. Her cameos are my favorite, and they're appreciated every single time.
She's so cute. She's curled up right next to me right now. She did just kind of like put her head up and breathed weird. So I think she appreciates it.
She knew.
She knew.
Cece's smarter than she looks.
My cats are dumber than a box of rocks. When they want to be.
Oh, what would we do without them?
I don't know.
I'd get more sleep.
They better not die. Bye.
Bye.